Hi everybody, it's Julie here. I just want to talk about a particular time in my life when I realised I actually needed a major life overhaul in order to stop living as a stressed out mum, always living on the edge of losing it, losing control of my temper, and I wanted to make sure that I was connecting with my kids. So here's what happened. So this is about 5 years ago now, when I was working part-time in an office, which was about an hour's commute away from my house. And so that was in the middle of Bristol. And I used to take both kids to school first, but it was always a rush in the morning. I was always shouting at them to eat their breakfast, to hurry up, shouting at them to clean their teeth, shouting at them to get their packed lunches in their bags, shouting at them to get their books in there, shouting at them to brush their hair because they've got such long hair. And you can see the pattern emerging here. Basically became shouty mum. And there is nothing worse than one of your children slowly bending down to whisper to the other child and saying, "Mummy's not very nice sometimes, is she?" So that was my defining moment. That was it. And I absolutely remember wholeheartedly losing the plot then. And I went from 0 to 100 in about 4 seconds and tried to defend all of my actions and say I wasn't shouty mum, and trying to explain why I was doing it. I was doing it all for them so that I could get to my job and sit down in a job I hated. And, you know, it was driving me insane, the whole situation. And I didn't even like my job. So I felt like that I was blaming them really. And, you know, that I was trying to get to my job, which I didn't like, and get them safely to school. And so that day, I actually didn't take my kids to school. I left the house, left the kids here, and left it to my husband to do. And the drive to the office was very long. I cried all the way, and I cried because my children were probably right. I wasn't being very nice sometimes, and I'm being really, really honest here. I had to remind myself in the car that my kids were only 4 and 6, or about that age at that time, and somebody rushing you all the time, it makes you forgetful. Look, I've done this, you know, how many times have you done this, where you've gone out of the door, and you've gone out and you've forgotten either your keys, your phone, your purse, or your shopping list, and then you go to the shops, and you get there and you think, I haven't got my money, I forgot my money. And to be honest, I usually, even now, walk out of the house without the one thing I really need 90% of the time. And then I have to rush back inside the house to go and grab it. But you don't remember that when it's your kids forgetting everything. So it was my own issues that were making me frustrated. Yet I'd just taken it out on my own kids. So you know, it probably wasn't the first time, but it had just built up over time. But I felt awful because it was my inability to control my own behaviour, and then it had spilled over to my children. And it was at a time when I had the realisation I had to make some changes to stop this stress, and to stop the anger, and to stop the anxious thoughts that were popping into my head. So since making those positive changes, not just to my morning routine, but to my job, my career, my purpose, my mindset, I'm in an amazing place of contentment now and happiness. And this is something that you guys can do too. You don't have to have these mental barriers in the way. And I want to give you some value in this group all the time, as much as possible. And so I've put together this downloadable guide for you to help minimize the stress in your mornings. And it includes 11 pages of some really cool tips and tricks and resources, which will help you keep your cool and juggle the chaos and the responsibilities that you have in the morning, and stop being like a stressed, angry mum like I've been. So I'm giving this away for free because I want to give as much value in this group as possible. And so if you want to get your hands on this, just type "I'm in the comments, and I'll send you a private message, and I'll get your email address that way. But if you're happy to share your email address, just add the email address in the comments with the words "I'm in," and I shall send it to you. It's yours. Have a great day. Don't be stressed or angry.